The UFC has 13 weight divisions, and here's something that'll blow your mind. Before 1997, there were 0 weight classes. None. A 170-pound guy could fight a 400-pound sumo wrestler, and that actually happened at UFC 1. The result? The big guy got kicked once and was done. But here's what most people don't know about these weight classes. They weren't just created for safety, they were engineered to produce the most violent and technical fights humanly possible. Each division tells a completely different story of human destruction. I spent the last month breaking down every single weight class, analyzing fight data from over 1,000 UFC bouts, and what I discovered will change how you watch fights forever. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why flyweights move like they're on cocaine, why heavyweights can literally kill you with one punch, and which division produces the most complete killers on Earth. But first, let me tell you something that'll shock you. The most dangerous weight class isn't what you think it is. Men's weight classes. Flyweight, the speed demons. These guys are 125 pounds of pure violence disguised as hummingbirds. Here's a stat that'll fry your brain. Flyweight fights average 4.2 significant strikes per minute. That's higher than any other division. Demetrius Johnson proved this division's worth by defending the title 11 consecutive times. 11! That's more than John Jones, more than Anderson Silva, more than anyone in UFC history except Jose Aldo. His record-breaking reign wasn't just dominance, it was a masterclass in human movement. But here's where it gets crazy. Most people thought DJ was boring. Wrong. Dead wrong. His fights were like watching a surgeon perform operations while getting punched in the face. The man threw a suplex into an armbar. A suplex into an armbar. Current champion Alexandre Pantoja represents the new breed. These aren't just technical fighters anymore, they're assassins. Pantoja's knockout rate 47% at flyweight. That's not supposed to happen. By the way, if you guys want to subscribe, I'll be posting twice a week. Thanks. Bantamweight, 135 pounds. The perfect storm. Welcome to the most explosive 10 pounds in combat sports. Bantamweights pack serious power into frames that can still move like lightning for 25 minutes straight. Sean O'Malley currently rules this chaos, and his numbers are absolutely insane. Sugar Sean has a 68% finish rate with an average fight time of 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Translation? He's ending careers before most people finish their warm-up. But let's talk about the legend he dethroned, Aljamain Sterling. Funkmaster defended the title 3 times, with a submission rate that made grapplers worldwide question their life choices. His triangle choke percentage? 89%. If Sterling got you in a triangle, you were going to sleep, or your arm was getting snapped. Here's what makes bantamweight special. It's the perfect storm. Big enough for knockout power, small enough for cardio that never quits. Dominic Cruz proved this by moving like he was allergic to getting hit while landing surgical strikes that accumulated damage like compound interest. Featherweight, 145 pounds, where legends die in 13 seconds. This division gave us the most iconic moment in UFC history. December 12th, 2015. Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor. 13 seconds. One left hand. Career over. But here's what people forget about Aldo. The man was undefeated for 10 years. 10 years! His leg kicks generated 2,100 pounds of force per square inch. That's enough to break a baseball bat. His takedown defense? 94%. You weren't taking Jose Aldo down unless he wanted to go down. Then came McGregor, and everything changed. The Irishman didn't just predict knockouts. He predicted the exact round, the exact method, sometimes the exact minute. His left hand became the most studied punch in combat sports. The precision was surgical. 88% of his knockouts came from counter left hands. Current champion, Ilia Topuria, proved the knockout tradition lives on. The Georgian Spanish destroyer became the first man to stop Alexander Volkanovski, and he did it with a right hand that traveled 14 inches and generated enough force to power a small car. Lightweight, 155 pounds. The Shark Tank. This is it. The most stacked, most brutal, most unforgiving division in all of combat sports. Lightweight is where careers go to die and legends are forged in blood. Khabib Nurmagomedov owned this division with a 29-0 record that included 11 submissions and 0 losses. 0. His pressure was so relentless that opponents averaged 2.1 significant strikes per round against him. For context, the division average is 8.7. He made elite strikers look like they were fighting underwater. His destruction of Conor McGregor wasn't just a fight, it was a public execution. Khabib landed 21 of 30 takedown attempts and controlled McGregor for 10 minutes and 45 seconds of an 18-minute fight. Then he jumped the fence and started a riot. Legendary. Current king, Islam Makhachev, carries a Dagestani torch with a 26-1 record and 4 title defenses. His grappling control time averages 12 minutes per fight. 12 minutes! That means if you fight Islam, you're spending more than half the fight getting mauled on the ground. But lightweight isn't just grapplers. Justin Gaethje has a 73% knockout rate. Charles Oliveira holds the record for most finishes in UFC history with 19. The depth is absolutely insane. The number 15 ranked guy could beat the champion on any given night. Welterweight is where size meets skill in the most dangerous combination possible. These fighters are big enough to separate your soul from your body, but athletic enough to do it for 25 minutes straight. Georges St. Pierre defined this division with 9 title defenses and a finishing rate that made opponents retire rather than face him again. GSP's jab landed at 67% accuracy. His takedowns? 76% success rate. The man was a human cheat code. Current champion Belal Muhammad represents the grinder mentality. Remember, the name earned his title through 10 straight wins and a work rate that would make machines jealous. His significant strike differential is plus 2.8 per minute. That means every minute, he's landing nearly 3 more shots than his opponent. But here's what makes welterweight special: the physical tool. Leon Edwards proved this with his head kick knockout of Kamaru Usman. 1 kick, 56 seconds left. 5 rounds of getting dominated, then boom, lights out. That's welterweight power.
Middleweight, 185 pounds. The artists of violence.
Middleweight has always been the division where fighters become artists and violence becomes poetry. Anderson Silva spent 2,457 days as champion, making the impossible look routine with matrix-like movement that defied physics. This fighter didn't just win fights, he created highlight reels that are still being watched 15 years later. His front kick knockout of Vitor Belfort generated 1,800 pounds of force and traveled 18 inches in 0.12 seconds. The precision was inhuman. Current champion Dricus du Plessis represents the new era. The South African's pressure is relentless. He lands 5.2 significant strikes per minute while absorbing only 2.8. His cardio is so good that he actually gets stronger as fights go longer. His third round finishing rate, 43%. Israel Adesanya's reign proved that pure striking could dominate at 185 pounds. His counter-striking accuracy was 71%, and his knockout of Paulo Costa was so violent it looked like a video game glitch. Light heavyweight, 205 pounds, the Athletic Freaks. Light heavyweight is where athletic freaks who happen to be giants showcase skills that shouldn't exist at this size. These are 205-pound men who move like welterweights and hit like trucks. Jon Jones owned this division for 8 years, with 11 title defenses, and a reach advantage that made fights look unfair. Bones landed 4.1 significant strikes per minute while absorbing only 2.3. His elbows generated enough force to crack concrete, and his wrestling was so dominant that Olympic wrestlers couldn't take him down. Current champion, Magomed Ankalaev, represents the new generation. The Dagestani's recent victory over Alex Pereira was a masterclass in technical striking. His jab accuracy, 68%. His takedown defense, 89%. The man is a human wall that hits back. Alex Pereira's knockout power was legendary. His left hook generated 2,400 pounds of force per square inch. When Poatan connected clean, fights didn't just end. They ended with opponents questioning their career choice.
Heavyweight, 265 pounds. The Chaos Division.
Welcome to Heavyweight, where every punch carries the potential to send you to another dimension. This isn't just fighting. This is controlled chaos wrapped in 4-ounce gloves. Francis Ngannou redefined what power means in combat sports. His punch was measured at 129,161 units on a power cube machine. For context, the average heavyweight boxer measures around 700 units. Ngannou's power was literally off the charts. His knockdown of Alistair Overeem generated enough force to power a small car. The uppercut traveled 14 inches and connected with 2,600 pounds of force. Overeem was unconscious before he hit the ground. Current interim champion Tom Aspinall represents the new breed, massive men who move like middleweights. His average fight time, 2 minutes and 1 second. His finishing rate, 92%. When Aspinall fights, bring a stopwatch, not a scorecard. Stipe Miocic proved that technique could triumph over raw power by defending the title 3 consecutive times. His boxing accuracy was 54%, which is insane for heavyweight. Most big men swing for the fences. Stipe picked his shots like a surgeon. Women's weight classes. Strawweight, 115 pounds, technical assassins. Women's strawweight produces the most technically sound fights in all of MMA. These 115-pound killers combine speed, precision, and heart in ways that consistently steal the show. Zhang Weili currently rules with an iron fist and knockout power that defies physics. Her spinning back fist knockout of Jessica Andrade generated 1,400 pounds of force from a 115-pound frame. The precision was surgical. Rose Namajunas proved that technique conquers all with her head kick knockout of Zhang in their first fight. The kick traveled 22 inches in 0.08 seconds. Lights out. Joanna Jędrzejczyk's volume punching was legendary. She averaged 6.8 significant strikes per minute during her title reign. For 5 rounds! The cardio was inhuman. Flyweight, 125 pounds. The evolution. Valentina Shevchenko dominated this division for years with striking so precise it looked computer-generated. Bullet defended the title 7 times with a significant strike accuracy of 61%. Her kicks generated 1,600 pounds of force, and her boxing was so clean that Olympic boxers studied her technique.
Then Alexa Grasso shot the world with a submission that nobody saw coming. Her rear naked choke on Shevchenko was applied in 3.2 seconds. 3 seconds! That's how fast careers can change. Bantamweight, 135 pounds, the legends. This division gave us Ronda Rousey's armbar dominance. 9 of her 12 wins came by armbar with an average submission time of 1 minute and 4 seconds. She didn't just beat opponents, she broke their arms. Amanda Nunes proved that knockout power exists at every weight class. Her knockout of Chris Cyborg was so violent, it ended the most feared woman in combat sports. The right hand traveled 16 inches and generated enough force to stop a charging bull. Current champion Kayla Harrison brings Olympic-level judo that's never been seen in MMA. Her takedown success rate, 89%. When Harrison gets her hands on you, you're going to the ground whether you like it or not. Featherweight, 145 pounds, the power division. Amanda Nunes ruled this division with knockout power that made men jealous. Her finishing rate was 71%, and her average fight time was 6 minutes and 12 seconds. When Nunes fought, bring a body bag. The science behind the madness. Here's what most people don't understand. These weight divisions aren't random. They're calculated to create the most competitive and violent fights possible. The 10-pound gaps in lower divisions ensure speed remains king. As weights increase, gaps widen because power becomes the equalizer. A 20-pound difference at heavyweight is manageable. At flyweight, it's a massacre. Weight cutting has become an exact science. Fighters regularly cut 25 to 30 pounds in 6 weeks, pushing their bodies to the absolute limit. The process creates some of the most disciplined athletes on earth. The future of violence. The UFC continues evolving. New divisions, refined competition, and the endless pursuit of perfect violence. What's next? Possibly a 165-pound division to bridge the gap between lightweight and welterweight, maybe adjustments as the sport evolves. One thing's certain, the pursuit of finding the best killer at every weight will never end.
From lightning-fast flyweights to devastating heavyweights, each UFC weight class represents a different type of human destruction. These divisions don't just organize fights, they showcase the incredible diversity of violence that exists in mixed martial arts. But here's the Kang, understanding these weight classes is just the beginning. If you want to know which fighting styles dominate each division and why, check out this video where I break down the signature techniques that define each weight class. The science behind why certain styles work at certain weights will blow your mind. And if you're curious about how weight cutting actually works and the insane lengths fighters go to make weight, this video explains the entire process and why some fighters nearly die trying to make the scale. The octagon is waiting, and now you know exactly what each weight class brings to the table. The question is, which division produces the most complete killers? Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this, and I'll see you in the next one.